Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to have a tutorial on how you can make a VTuber model by yourself for your own use. The first step in this process is that you need an image of the model that you want to create. And then you'll be clipping that image into multiple layers so that they can act individually when you are assigning them some movements through the Live2D software. So if you can see my cursor, here I have all the main structure divided into subfolders through which it is easier to access and navigate. And this is a crucial step. It's not necessary, but I think it should be done so as to not lose any necessary parts which you might require while forming the warp deformers. Now, what are warp deformers? We'll cover that in the session for Live2D. But till then, let's go through this one. So here, if you can see, I've divided my whole avatar into multiple sections. Here, if you can see, I can just, this one is a move layer tool. I've selected that, and with that I can move my particular layer and I can adjust it to particular position that I want. Similarly, I've divided each layer into multiple, each part of the body into multiple sections so that they're easy to navigate and easy to handle in Live2D. This hair back, hair front. You can easily do this with in Clip Studio, but you can do that in Photoshop as well. You can use the software that you feel easier to use. So the basic thing that I'll just let you know for which we require for clipping is essentially the select tool. It's easier to use erase selection and then press shift and select everything and then erase everything. It's like working it works faster that way. So you can select the size of the tool that you want. If I press shift, or you can directly use selection pin, it works the same. The shaded part that I'm selecting here will be selected. So here, if you see here, I can just select this. I can just shade it and it will be automatically selected. Now here some sections are remaining, so I can just make my brush smaller and select those pixels individually. See, it works perfectly fine. So here, if you see, I mistakenly or intentionally I did some extra step where I got the selection outside of the part that I required. So I can just use erase tool and adjust it to the size that I want. And then just select the pixels that I want to deselect from this selection. It will automatically deselect and adjust. So basically you can use this to select particular parts. You can, after selection, you'll get this toolbar where you have multiple actions where you can deselect, crop, you can invert the selected area, you can expand the selected area, you can shrink the selected area, you can delete it, you can delete outside of that selected area, you can cut and paste it, you can copy and paste it, you can scale or rotate it, fill it with different color, and some filter options. So here we are basically going to use cut and paste, with which it will cut this part from this particular section. So one more crucial step here, you'll need to select the particular layer from which we are cutting this. So in this case, I'm cutting it from outfit. So I'll need to select that. Otherwise it won't work. So keep this one in mind. So if I cut and paste, it did create a new layer for me. And if I just select this, if I just select the move layer selection tool, I can move it to different location that I want, different position, or basically I can separate it into different layer. I'll just deselect this area, and now as you can see, I have a different layer for this, a separate layer assigned to it, and I can move it accordingly. So let me just deselect those. Okay, so now if I move my outfit layer, you can see here the body parts and all those things. I have different layers according to the body parts, because I'm going to assign different movements for each and every body part. So you can see for hands I've given some extra clearance, so you can just clip it and extend it by drawing it. You have multiple tools here. You can use pen, pencil, or brush. You can select that particular color that you want. Just one more tip that I would like to give you is that if you right click here, it will open up the dropper. If you hold that right click, you can just simple right click, it will automatically select that color. And if I now paint it, I can paint with that color. So this one, this trick saves up a lot of time when you're doing these things. So I'll just move the outfit to its assigned position. So this is how you're going to basically layer out your own character, basically avatar. So I'll just for the sake of understanding, I'll just open up my this character layer tree, so that you'll be able to see what else I have in here and what kind of nomenclature that I use generally. So here for all the facial features, I have it in face folder. For eyebrows, I have separate folder, and for left and right, I have assigned L and R in capital letters at the end of the name. This simplifies the process a lot when we are working with Live2D. Here front, then mouth, I have upper lip, lower lip, upper teeth. I'll just show these also. Here I have different layers for lips, teeth, then inside mouth, and then background of the mouth. So we require this for the open and close movements, smile, basically the mouth movements. We require all these layers. So keep this in mind. You'll need to make these layers as well. And for easier access, you can just follow the same nomenclature. So this layer is an extra layer which I added for an expression, basically, which I'll be using in Live2D. Currently, I've just kept it hidden for my simplification. And this one as well, the tear. This is for the crying expression or emotion. This contains everything related to eye textures, basically the top texture of the eyes. Actually, the left eye also has this texture, but because of this here, it is hidden. But yeah, we still need those textures, because when in Live2D we'll be having movements for this hair, so it won't always stay in that same position for liveliness. The character looks more lively that way. So yeah, that's it for the Clip Studio. After this, we'll be proceeding with the Live2D. Oh yeah, one more crucial step. In Live2D, we need this image basically in our PSD format. So you're not supposed to export anything. You just need to save this, save as some name that you want to give, and with this Photoshop document, which converts it to PSD format. So if I save it with that, I'll get all these layers in the PSD format, and I can use that same image in Photoshop as well. It saves up a lot of time. It's on you, whatever you want to do, it works well. So now let's start with the Live2D part. Now, once you have the PSD file generator, you can just drag and you can just create a new model, and you can just drag. Sorry, my bad. You can just drag and drop your own character here. You'll get empty windows here with the project and part. Here in the project, basically you can see all the structure of your model. It will show everything that is needed, and here every part of that model is listed. You can basically select those, and yeah, you can assign some actions to them. And here we have the deformers defined, but currently as we didn't define any deformer, it's just as it is. So let's start with the deformer. So here, if you can see, we have a create warp deformer. So for the front hair, I'll start with the front hair. I can just create a auto mesh if I want. But yeah, I'll proceed with that post this one. So let's say that we want to create a deformer. The firstly we'll need to define for which things we need a deformer. Deformer is basically grouping of particular parts. So we can group all eye related parts, right? Because they are going to move in tandem mostly. Similarly, we can group mouth related all parts. Similarly, they are going to move in tandem. And subsequently, we can do it for every part of the body. So it's not mandatory to define deformers, but it makes a task easier to, when the parts are going to move in tandem. We don't have to individually move them. We can just select the deformer and we can we can assign the position to that one, and it will create a illusion, not illusion, but it will move all the parts according to that movement of the deformer. So should we do from here? Let's create a deformer for full face. Okay. So if I select face and create a deformer, destination part is face, warp deformer, and as a parent of selected objects. Basically for all the face objects, it will be as a parent deformer. You can select the Bezier division and Converger division. You can we'll see this later on as well. But for now, we'll just create the deformer. Right? This created the deformer. Now we'll need to individually move all the parts inside the deformer. Okay, my bad. I made a mistake here. We'll need to select all objects individually for a deformer. So for face, we'll create one deformer where we are selecting all these parts individually. So just expand all folders and select all the parts that you want to select as a deformer. You want them to be part of deformer, and just create. Here I will give it a different name. Let's say face. This is a face warp. right? So I'll just create that, and as you can see here, all the face related things went into my deformer. Here it will stay as it is because folder structure. Now the outfit is kinda independent, but we need it to be grouped with the body parts, right? So we'll be creating a deformer for this as well. Let me create one deformer. It's not mandatory, but it's better to create one. Let me select all the body related parts, and here I'll select it as body part swap and create. Currently we have these two deformers, face swap and body swap. With this we have two different deformers. If we want, we can just create few more deformers as well, as and when necessary. But currently we'll only have these two. We'll create more if we require further into a process. So now we need to create meshes for all these objects. So for now I'll just select everything. Not everything. It's okay, let's try with everything and let's try to create automation. Okay, it doesn't allow us to do that. If I remember correctly, we had one function through which you can directly create meshes. We don't have to do this. Okay, that's not it. Okay, let it be. For now, we'll just, if you see here, we can create a mesh. Here we have three options, three preset options through which we can create it. But for as the object is small and as it doesn't have that much movement, significant movement, we can basically select a standard mesh and you can just add it. Okay, sorry, my bad. Standard mesh. See, it automatically created a mesh for me. Similarly, we can just create that particular object and we can have this mesh automatically created. So for now, I'm just going to select some standard art meshes. If you want, if you think for your particular object you might need or particular part you might need a heavy mesh, whether it contains some critical movements, you can just create this. Okay, along with this we have one more critical function. We can use this manual edit mesh, which gets our art mesh into edit mode, and you can just manually add or delete or add some points into your mesh, and you can adjust your mesh basically. So here we have this hand tool was for adding a point in the mesh. Here you can see the point was added. I can just link it to different vertices again. Similarly, you can use these for tools for modifying your art mesh. I'm not going to do that as of now. Mainly we'll be addressing that when we are going to work with the facial movements for angles. So for now, let's just create meshes for everything. For the smaller parts, I'm going to create a heavy art mesh as they might contain some and you can change it anytime you want, but for now I'm just creating a heavy art mesh for lip movements. For this one I don't think we require any mesh, but let's just create one. What's the harm? So I'll speed this process a little bit because it's just repetition. Now that we have all the art meshes added, let's start with the rigging. Basically, whatever movements that we assign to the particular parts of the body, it is called rigging. So for now, I'll just hide this front hair. First, we'll start with eye rigging. It's the easier part, but sometimes it gets quite tricky. So let me start with the right eye. This is a right eye. This eyelid, this is whole face basically. I created that for the simplification. Doing this is really simple in this manner. So for now, I'll just hide these textures. Left shift, right. Okay. So now we do have this eyelid here, and we'll need to close this. So let me modify our art mesh a little bit. So that we'll have some easier time doing this. I'll keep this here. This there. You can basically adjust your art mesh with these vertices. It's pretty easy and pretty hard as well if you don't know how to do it. I've connected these points. I'll need 2 more points actually. It would be easier to do it that way. Let's create one more there. Let's connect these. Let's add one more point here and here. One more point here. One more point here, and we'll move it to that position. This one's already there. Let's add one more point. And with that, it should be enough. Because that's what I think. Let's see, we don't know what kind of hurdles we'll face here. But yeah, for now, that's what my art mesh looks like. Alright, I'll just connect these two as well. Alright, that should be enough. So now if you see, here we have eye movements in the parameter setting. Once we are done with these art meshes, we'll be basically moving with the rigging itself. So if you can see in here in parameter tab, let me expand that a little bit. Okay. So we have multiple parameters related to each and every movement. You can add a parameter and you can delete as well, whatever you don't require. You can group these parameters for simplicity and ease of access. So for now, we are going with the right eye. So we want IR open, right? For now, for simplicity, I'll just create one folder here. Sorry, yeah. I'll just create one folder here. I'll name it eyes. I can name it anything you want. And I'll select all eye related parameters and drag and drop into that one. So if you expand that folder, you'll only be able to see those parameters if you expand it. So now we have 0 and 1 values for this parameter. If you open that parameter, you can see here there's one ID assigned to it and name, and there's one value. By default it will be 1. 1 means open, 0 means closed. By default it will be open. You can change these values as well to whatever you want, but it's better to follow convention itself, so that you won't get confused as and when required. So for this eyelid, I'm going to assign this IR open. For it, we'll be adding these keyforms. Keyforms means basically the position of that particular part at that particular frame on that scale of the parameter. So if I'm in this keyform, it basically means that my eye is closed. So when the when the parameter is in this keyform, the eye is closed, and when it is in this keyform, it is open. There are values assigned to it, and you can add some in between keyforms as well, with which you can assign few values, and you can just have those keyforms if you require them. So here we have either 2 valued or negative valued as well, minus 0 and positive. So in that case, you'll have 3 keyforms. So for now, let's start with we already have the eye open, so we need eye closed. So I'll just move the slider to this keyform where we have the eye closed position. And I'll manage my eyelid so that I'll just drag these particular vertices that I have on my art mesh, and it will move that particular part of that skin. So let me show you what we can do here. Okay. So just ignore this for now. That's because it is stretching it. So once we properly assign it, once we are done with everything, it should align properly. Here we need to properly stretch it so that it won't look distorted we don't want any distorted images here, right? So if I just drag this one, now it looks good, right? So this way, just drag all the vertices that you require for closing this eye. I think we should have the connection from this to this as well. Okay, let's make that. Okay, now it should be moving those parts. Okay, and maybe because I didn't have this, it didn't properly cover that. Now it's moving everything. Okay, so we are halfway there. Then I'll just drag this here so that we don't have those artifacts. Let's start from the bottom as well. Why only do the top when you can do bottom as well, right? Process is a little bit tedious, but once you get it, you won't have that much hard time. Now to close it. Well, we don't actually need to close it completely because we already have an eyeliner there, right? Eyelash. That eyelash will be overlapping here, but we'll try to get it as close as possible so that we won't have any strange artifacts when we are signing on other moments. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let me straighten it a little bit. That looks pretty good. Okay, now if we see this movement, we can see that it looks like an eyelid, just closing and opening, and it looks pretty good. So now let me see, make this eyelash visible, and now we're going to do the exact same thing with this eyelash because we need that eyelash down there, right? Otherwise it won't look good. So we'll just select that eyelash. Currently you can see there's no keyform highlighted here, right? Because it is not assigned, so we'll need to assign a keyform. Yeah, one more thing you need to keep in mind is that if you are on a trial, on a free version where you don't have a trial started or you don't have the purchased license, you will only be able to add 2 parameters per part. It won't that the software won't allow you to add multiple parameters if you don't have the license purchased. Currently, I'm also on my trial period, but I'll be purchasing it soon. Okay, so let's start with this eye open. Now, one more feature that we have here is this deform path edit, with which we can move the particular parts of the art mesh, the whole art mesh, with the particular for it to follow a particular path. So let's see, I'm adding these points here and you can see the line connecting through that. It will follow that particular line as I move it. So this simplifies this kind of work by a lot. So now I'll move to the arrow tool where I want that uh, to be movable. Otherwise, it will just add or edit or move those. So if, as you can see here, it moved my default deformer in that particular way to follow that line, and these points will be stationary, so it will either rotate around that or maybe it will just deform. So for now I just need this whole line to be of this length and straight. I mean, simultaneously you have to adjust this vertices of the deformer as well, otherwise it will look really ugly. And I'll just straighten it up here and I'll just move it all together down there so that it will be easier to work with, right? Or we can do one thing actually, rather than messing it up that much. This thing is already straight enough, right? So I'll just straighten it a little bit from there, and now I'll just merge it in here. I don't need that. I don't think we'll even require this. Sorry, what was that? Deform tool. I don't think we'll even require those points. We can just move this directly because we need it to collapse there, right? Or we can just collapse it up here. Only point is the movement should look good, nothing else. So movement and this thing should look good when it is in closed position. That's the only concern. So let us try and make that possible. Right? If I do this, it will look pretty good. Seems like it looks good. Let me just select the whole thing and move it. It looks a little bit smiling. Let me adjust that as well. And just move this a little bit. Okay. I'll add one point here. And I'll move it. Yep. Looks pretty good. Now let's see. I open, I close. Okay, maybe we'll need to pull it a little bit because you can see here there is one artifacting here going on. See here, the part of the eyelid is outside of that eyelash. So let's move it down a little bit more, like this. And now let's see. Yep, now it looks almost perfect. There's a little bit of artifacting, but I don't think we can do anything about that now. But this looks pretty much good. The amount movement will be pretty fast anyway, the blinking movement, so I don't think anyone will even notice. But yeah, we have to do what we have to do, right? Now the eyeliner. So where did it go, the eyeliner? Yeah, it's here. We'll need to do the same thing, we'll need to add it here. And for this one, I don't think I'll be doing any deforming stuff, but I'll just drag it and drop it here. And I'll just adjust it a little bit so that it won't show itself. Pretty good. Now let's see. Yep, it's perfectly moving with the eye. Now, we'll need to just repeat the exact same steps. Do you think we need to deform our eyelash a little bit? No, I think it's pretty good. Let's not mess it up. Okay. Now, let's start with the left eye. We'll do the exact same thing that we did here with the right eye. So let me just hide the eyelash and maybe the eyeliner too. Okay. Now we already have the eyelid. We just need to do the exact same things that we did with the right eye. So let me just create a mesh. For this one, I'll just keep that one. And I'll just keep adding these new parts. New vertices, sorry. With which I can easily manipulate the eye. Okay, now let's just connect those. You know what, I think I should connect these as well. That way it will be a bit easier. Okay. I think that's good enough. So okay, let's proceed with the deforming. Just to check, yeah, it is working. Did I just mess up? Yeah, I forgot this vertex. That should be fine. Now I'll just start pulling these outer vertices again. And keep in mind one more thing. We'll need to align it exactly as this one so that it won't look like fun. It won't look funny. It shouldn't look funny. You don't want your viewers to laugh on your cat model, right? You're after. So I should have added one more vertex here because it's not pulling these things properly. Let's add one more vertex here. Make these points. So that it won't get pulled that much anymore. You see, the more vertex you add, the more stationary points you have in your particular part, so that it won't look that much distorted. I just keep pulling it down. We need it to this height. So basically till this eyeball with the eye highlight. This is a really tedious work, but yeah, once you get through it, it's pretty fun. Once you know what to do, it, it is really fun. You'll enjoy the experience. And you'll have that satisfaction of creating your own avatar as well, right? So it's always, I mean, always prefer to do these kinds of stuff. It's pretty fun. We're almost there. Almost there. I mean, the hiding is one of the easiest one. The difficult one is the head movement, the mouth movement. And the mouth movement is also pretty easy. It's just a lot of work. Oh my, I think uh, we went down by a lot. I don't think we should have gone by that much. Let me just Control Z. And yeah, we're there. Now let's start with the bottom one. We almost missed the mark. Let me adjust this so that it will look nice. Okay. Let's start with the bottom lead. Oh, my bad. Okay, this one is easier to pull. I shouldn't selected that much points. Maybe that's why it took so much time for me to do that top one. Okay. Why is it cross-eyed? I messed up a little bit. Shouldn't be cross-eyed. We don't want him to be cross-eyed now, do we? Okay, pretty close. Now, okay, I'm saying pretty close and I'm doing some stuff. It happens, what can you do? Now let's see. Okay. Looks like we need to pull this out a little bit because it shouldn't be that much closed is what it looks like from the right eye. You need to get the alignments correctly, otherwise it will look bad. Still there's a little bit of movement. You need to pull it out a little bit more. Let's do it. It won't take that much. Okay, now it looks better. Let's start with our eyelash again. The left eyelash on the closed eye. Where is it? Eyelash left. With the eye closed, we'll add some keyframes, keyforms. And okay, think we should make this one heavy. It will be better. So it's already better. It will take a little bit more time, but you'll have the precise control of what your part should look like. Heavy mesh is a little bit time consuming and tedious, but where you need a precise control, you should be using that. So let me pull this up. Why is it looking so funny? Okay, my bad. We need to pull this, pull that one a little bit, pull this up, and then just drag everything up. And this one is a lot bit, this one is a bit easier than the early one that created. It was my first character, Millie, which I'm currently using here. But that was really good experience to learn this software. Oh my god, why does it look so ugly? Maybe I should have just gone with the standard mesh. Would have been easier that way. Yeah, no, I just need to, just adjust it here. Now that looks a little bit better. And let's straighten this one out. Should look good. Same as that right eyeliner, sorry, eyelash. Alright, that looks good. Let's select it all and move it down and cover our eye. Now let's see. Oh shit. Guys, I messed up. Okay, I added these movements to uh, right eye directly. But anyway, I don't think we require the separate eye open movement for left and right. I mean, as far as my experience with Mili goes, I never needed that much separate movement. So, okay, why this is looking ugly. It's not from there. Where it is from? Hmm, something went wrong here, but let me just fix that. Looks ugly. Okay. Now wait. So with this we have the blinking figured out. Okay, not yet, not yet. Not yet. We still need to do the eyeliner. Let's add keyforms. Select the eyeliner. We'll select it all and we'll move it. Now, let's move it straight up. And then adjust it one by one. Should it look good? Right? The character looks should good. Whoa, what the hell just happened? Oh, okay. That's an honest mistake now. Here, you just saw that it didn't move, right? Because I forgot to add and I did add, but it didn't get added. This key form. Now you can see it got added with that eyeliner. You can see that it's green. So let's repeat that. Move it up exactly as we want. Select it again. Sorry. Select it and adjust it inside our eyelash so that it won't look ugly. Now let's see. Now that's the best eye movements that I ever got. I'll just edit this parameter. Okay, now what do you suggest we do? Okay, with this we have the eye movement, uh, the eye open close movements figured out, and it looks pretty good. Let's try it with our face hair. Sorry, the top hair on should look good with this, and it does look good. So with this we are almost at the top of our eye. Let's proceed it. Okay, let's proceed with the mouth rigging. Or else let's first figure out the eye itself. We still have the eye left and eye right. So the eyeball movement, we still have that one to figure out. So for this one, we'll be selecting both the eyeballs and then we'll be adding the keyforms. With that, I mean, we can select the multiple parts and we can add keyforms directly so that we'll have individual keyforms added at the same time. So here, this one is simple one. We just need to move this. So I'll just select this and with eyeball X, I have this left movement. Right? I have it middle. Okay, I messed up here. For this one, we should be adding a 3 keyform pair. Right? It's not a pair, but a triplet of keyforms where the 0 will be default position and the minus will be left side and the plus will be right side. So let's move to the left. Okay, looks good enough. Then this is default. Then this is right. Let's move that to right. Okay, that's good enough. So if you see now we have left and right movements here for the eyeball. Now let's select the eyeball second and we'll add a key form for up and down movements of the eye. So the minus is down and plus is up. Now let's move it down. That should be good enough for the down movement. And now the up movement. Okay. Now that looks good enough. Now as the X and Y movements will be in the plane, you can just click here and add these parameters, combine these parameters. It's not actual combination, but with this we will be able to define the combined movement. So now we have up down and left, right, left. With that, if we select this corner and this side, and then if we see up down, it's not moving. So let's select the both eyeballs again. The keyforms will already be there because we have already added them. Now we'll just move it up and we'll just see whether we're aligned properly with this movement. Yeah, it is aligned. Now we'll do the same thing with the left movement. And as you can see here, it looks pretty much aligned and the up down is also good. It doesn't look distorted. Now let's do the same thing with the down movement. Oh, okay, for some reason my eyelash is my eyelid is a little bit outside from what I wanted it to be, but I'll fix that. No worries. So now this one, it's too much to the left. Okay, we did that corner. Sorry, what? some reason this red box vanished. I don't know why. Okay, a little bit more. That looks good. Let's do the same thing with our left down movement. Okay, now we have all the eye movements performed properly. Okay, now let me just fix this eyelid a little bit. Okay, looks good enough. Okay, from the right side as well it got messed up. So left side. For some reason this was pulled outside. Shouldn't be. Okay, that looks good and better than before at least. Oh, okay, now just how many fuck-ups do we have here? Okay, I think I messed it up while coloring. Okay, I'll fix it later. For now, we have the eyeball movements figured out. We have our open close figured out. And it looks pretty good. So with this, we are done with the eye rigging. Now, we can proceed with the mouth rigging if you want. But yeah, let's proceed with that. There's no harm. So I'll name this folder. Oh my! I'll name this folder as mouth, and we only have two parameters in mouth rigging: mouth form and mouth open. So mouth form is basically the smile factor, and mouth open is open close, as we know. So with mouth form, we will be defining of the size of the mouth, and with mouth open we'll be defining its opening and closing. So we have all the mouth, select all the mouth related parts that we have and just add the keyforms. Here we will need three keyforms because we are going to define three positions: neutral, sad and smiling. And that same for mouth open and close. We'll just I mean, we can define as many as we want, it's on us. But yeah, if you keep it simple, it will work better, but you see, it's on you. For now, I'll just keep two here and I'll add some more once I'm done with that. So, okay, now with mouth form, We just need to define smile. So I'll start with the upper lip. And for this one specifically, I'll be adding this uh, deform path. This will simplify this work by a lot. So let me add it. This is easy, right? So now for mouth form, for neutral position, that's fine. For left, we'll make the sad position. So let's just adjust this. Keep in mind regarding these vertices, they'll mess up a little bit if you're not on lookout for them, because once they are messed up beyond belief, uh, it's pretty hard to fix. I mean, it's almost impossible to fix that. You'll need to undo everything and redo it again. So just while doing this thing, just simultaneously spread out these vertices as well. See, this vertex got moved immediately. See, those vertices are moving again. This one got overlapped. This is what I'm talking about. You don't want your mesh to be messed up, because it will mess up your entire mouth movement if your mesh is messed up. See, that is overlapping. So I'll just pull it out and then I'll try to do this. Okay, what the hell? See, I got confused there. The same way you might get confused. I mean, you guys are a lot smarter than me. But yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry. No, you're saving a lot of your time if you just simultaneously adjust these vertices as well. Just make sure to stretch it out properly so that there won't be any strange artifact remaining from the underlying layers. So now we need to make it sad. So we need to add a curve here. Okay, where is it actually? And you can move this path with these vertices directly as well. It's not mandatory that you just need to do that with that particular path only. It depends on you what you want to do. So okay, it looks ugly. Where am I messing it up? Okay, go here. Now let's just pull this to the middle a little bit. And it should look little bit better. Let's readjust these. Okay, that looks fine. And that's only the upper lip. We'll have to do the lower lip as well. Where did it go? Oh, let's see. Yeah. Now that we have the lower lip selected, let's just adjust it to the position that we want it to. Okay. Oh, that's already the heavy one. My bad. Then we will need to add these points manually, it seems. Now it should work. Yep, it did work. Hmm? Okay. Let me adjust this again because we missed some artifacts here that we shouldn't have. Okay. Now it looks good for a sad moment. Now let's do the smiling part. I'll just remove this though. Yeah. Okay. Now for the smiling bit, we just need to stretch it out. Not that hard. And adjust this a little bit. Okay, we made a reform here, a vertex here, which will hold it. Okay, now, okay, it didn't work. Maybe we'll need it here. Now it should work. It is working. So let's make it smiley. That's good enough. Let's do it with the lower lip. The same exact thing. Okay, that kind of looks good enough for mouth form. I think we should not eyelid, lower lip. I think we should adjust this for the neutral position because it's a little bit open and that red part is really annoying. Yeah, now that's better. That's a lot better. Right. So let's move on to our mouth open. For mouth open, again, same thing. We need to adjust these. So yeah, first before starting, just how many positions do you want your mouth to be open. You should define those. So for this character, I'll just add 3 positions. I don't want it to be that much, tedious. So rather than having, like 2 keyforms, I'll just have 3 keyforms. It should be easier because we already have a keyform that way. So from 0, 0.5 and -1, we will have these 3 movements. Okay. So from 0.5, we'll keep it a little bit open. Upper lip, let me adjust it to an oval shape. For this one, I could use these deform paths, but I already have a bad experience with it. So I'm just keeping that one for this mouth rigging because I hated to do the rework when I was working with these forms in my melee project. But yeah, for you guys, anything. I'll try to keep it as elaborate as possible so that won't have any difficulty. And if you're facing anything, you can just ask it in the comment section, right? Don't hesitate to ask. I'll answer everything that I can. If I don't know anything, I'll just guide you to the suitable tutorial or maybe the suitable solution as well. I'll try to guide you. So for mouth open, upper lip, that looks good enough. Let's start with the lower lip. And this is the midway position only. So we'll be keeping it to that small oval opening. And you can extend it if you want. It's on you. You can create multiple positions as well. For melee, I had created 5 different positions for mouth form and mouth open. And it's complicated, but you'll have variety when you're working in the VTube studio. You'll have variety of mouth movements with your character, which you might not have if you just create less positions for the mouth, right? So for now, okay, this texture is not that much refined. That's why it looks a little bit ugly. Yes, for now, just don't mind it. This is just a tutorial. I may not be using this character at all. I'm just creating it for my tutorial for you guys. So that should be good enough, and you can refine it as much as you want as you go through this process. So for the second position, that's good enough. Let's start with the third position. I'll just move this a little bit up because I want to stretch it from here. That would be easier to do. Because I'll be stretching it like downward, completely downwards. I don't want it to be, distorted that much. That's why I pulled it up a little bit more. Yeah, I think we should add one more point because it is getting stretched a little bit weird. Okay, now that's fine. That's good enough. Yeah. Now keep in mind that you'll also need to define the different endpoints while doing the mouth rigging because you have mouth form and mouth open. So you will have two different sets here, right? X and Y, similar to X and Y high movements. So just be aware of that as well. But sometimes it gets pretty confusing for many people and they forget to do these things and straight forward. Okay, that's good enough for the upper lip. Now let's start with the lower. I'll stretch this down and I don't want that wide of the mouth movement for him because for Millie I gave her a lot of big movements for the mouth and it kinda didn't look good sometimes. It was fine but not that good. That's why for him I will be keeping it smaller than Millie at least. Should be okay. Okay, looks good enough. Now, yeah, this looks bad, right? So let me just adjust that as well. Move this a little bit up, and move this up, and we have upper teeth as well. We'll move it up as well. Okay, and I think we should show lower teeth as well. We only show the upper one. Yeah. Now with this, the basic mouth rigging is done. Mouth open and close. Looks good enough. I mean, click outside so you can see it properly. So this looks good enough, the mouth rigging. Now, uh, here we have open close. Here we have smile upside, but we will need to define the, you know, open close according to these 4 points as well. So should we do it in this session only, or do you want that to be done in next session? Okay, let's do it. Now that we have already started the mouth rigging, we should do it. Right. Again with the upper lip, move it up. And I'll individually, okay, my bad. I will individually start pulling these to form a shape of oval. And for this one, we'll need a little bit bigger because this one is the smiling one. So it's just rinse and repeat. I'll speed up this process a little bit so that won't have to like go through everything again. So you can see that I just completed the movement for my smiling mouth open. Here I added a different emotion here, basically the expression, and it looks pretty good with the teeth on teeth. And this looks like a smiling or a laughing mouth. This is a neutral mouth open, and this is a smiling one. So now let's make one for the sad. We already have a kind of mouth here for the sad one. Mm. So here I'll just move the mouth upper lip a little bit and then adjust the lower lip a little bit so that it will, it will just a little bit open, not entirely. I don't want it to be messed up. Alright. Now let's just adjust this lower lip. To this point. Okay, for some reason this doesn't look good. looks way too stretched for some reason. Let me just check it a little bit. Okay, now a little bit better. But yeah, you can adjust it as per your desire. So I don't think I should show any teeth in this one. And for this one, I don't have anything in mind, but how should we create it? Let's just invert it, no? Inverted smile with mouth open. Let's try that. I haven't tried that one yet. Okay, now that looks good enough. We have all of our mouth movements here. So yeah, you can increase the keyforms if you want, but that's totally on you how complicated you want your mouth movement to be. But I find this combination to be, more than enough. Not more than enough, but it should be sufficient for the basic mouth movements that one might want in his character after in his view to be. Okay. So with this, I think we should stop here for this part. We'll resume this again in the next part. Till then, have fun. Take care.